Ever feel like you're trying to learn something new, maybe create something amazing, but you're totally limited by what you've got on hand?
Yeah.
Like you're stuck using the same old ingredients, the same old tools,
Right.
and it feels like it's holding you back.
Yeah.
But what if I told you those limitations could actually be, I don't know, kind of like your secret weapon?
Okay, that's interesting.
That's what we're diving into today.
I like it.
Resourcefulness, color theory, and a little 90s art school nostalgia
What?
thrown in for good measure.
I'm into it.
So picture this. You're an art student, you're surrounded by classmates,
Hmm.
and they've got, the top of the line pre-mixed paint sets,
Sure, yeah.
all the colors you could imagine.
Makes sense.
And there you are, mixing your own colors,
Right.
not just for like a week or two,
Right.
but for 3 years straight.
Wow, that's dedication.
That's exactly what Mimetron did.
Really?
Yeah, they turned a tight budget into this like unexpected masterclass in color theory.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's really turning a perceived limitation into a learning opportunity.
Totally.
It wasn't just about saving money.
Right.
It was about, like, deeply engaging with color.
Yeah.
Think about it. Color theory. That's the bedrock of visual art.
It's true.
Understanding how colors interact, how they mix to create an intended effect.
It's huge.
By mixing those colors, Mimetron wasn't cutting corners.
No.
They were diving headfirst into the very essence of what makes art visually compelling.
And it's funny.
What's that?
Nobody even realized what they were doing, at least not at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a great moment Mimetron describes where their classmates finally catch on.
Oh, I bet that was great.
It's like you can practically hear the light bulb going on, and everyone realizes, wait a minute,
Uh-huh.
Like they've been outmaneuvered,
Totally.
not just financially, but like in terms of learning as well.
Absolutely. That's incredible. That's the unexpected power of embracing constraints, right?
Totally.
I mean, imagine the depth of understanding Mimetron developed,
Oh, it had to be incredible.
having to consider every single pigment,
Right.
every subtle variation in hue and saturation.
Wow.
They weren't just following a recipe.
No, not at all.
They were learning to, like, speak the language of color fluently.
Okay, but I have to say, the thought of being one of those classmates, like realizing I'd been unknowingly schooled for years,
Yeah.
kind of hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
But it really highlights an important point, I think.
What's that?
Sometimes those limitations, those moments where we have to, like, make do,
Yeah.
they force us to be more inventive, more resourceful.
For sure.
And honestly,
Yeah,
better learners in the long run.
I think so too.
Makes you wonder, right?
What does?
Like, where else in life do we hit these self-imposed limitations?
Yeah.
Thinking they're holding us back.
Right.
When they might actually be, like, the key to unlocking a whole new level of understanding.
That's a good point.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about all those times I opted for, like, the pre-chopped veggies at the grocery store.
Sure.
Instead of, like, sharpening my knife skills.
Taking a shortcut.
Totally. Like,
Yeah.
what shortcuts am I taking without even realizing it?
That's the thing. It's
Right.
this idea that constraints can actually fuel creativity.
It's true.
And it's not just like an art school theory,
Right.
It pops up everywhere.
Yeah, it does.
You think about, like, iconic inventions
Yeah.
born out of necessity, right?
Like what?
Duct tape,
Okay.
the slinky,
Oh, sure.
even penicillin,
Wow.
all those aha
Yeah.
moments where limitations, they forced someone to think differently.
Yeah.
And it ended up, like, changing the world.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was reading about this composer,
Okay.
and he had to write this whole symphony, but the orchestra was missing like half its instruments
Oh, no.
because of some crazy scheduling conflict.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
That's wild.
He was like devastated at first,
Of course.
but then he just embraced the challenge.
I love that.
And the result was this like completely unique, beautiful piece of music.
Right.
It wouldn't have existed without that initial, constraint.
Wow, that's powerful. And it speaks to, like, a larger point about, the value of mastering the fundamentals.
Oh, totally.
We live in a world that's, like, obsessed with speed,
Yes.
efficiency, always looking for the shortcut.
The hack.
Yeah,
Yeah, prepackaged solution.
exactly.
For sure.
But by doing that, I mean, are we sacrificing, like, a deeper,
right.
more nuanced understanding of the things
Uh.
we're, like, actually passionate about?
It's a good question.
When we opt for, like, the easiest route,
Oh.
what are we missing out on?
Oh, that reminds me of learning a new language.
Oh, yeah.
I used to like rely so heavily on translation apps. Yeah.
thinking I was being, super efficient.
Yeah.
But then I realized I was just like skimming the surface.
Right. Yeah.
Never really grappling with like the intricacies of grammar
Mm-hmm.
or the nuances of meaning.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't until I like put in the time,
Right.
the old-fashioned way,
Yeah.
flashcards, verb conjugations, all that stuff, that I really started to understand and like appreciate the beauty of the language.
Right, because it's like the difference between,
Totally.
simply knowing something
Right.
and truly understanding it.
Yes.
Mimetron didn't just learn about color, they internalized it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
They developed an intuitive sense
Yeah.
of how different hues would interact,
Right.
how to create specific moods and effects.
That's amazing.
And that kind of mastery, it doesn't come from a shortcut.
It doesn't, no.
It comes from wrestling with the fundamentals,
Yeah.
from making mistakes
Mhm.
and learning from them.
Right.
It's about, like embracing the process,
Yeah.
not just chasing the outcome.
Totally. So I guess, like, where does this leave us,
Good question.
in a world, like,
Yeah.
obsessed with,
Instant,
instant gratification,
right?
prepackaged solutions, I mean.
It's easy to fall into that trap,
Totally.
always looking for the, easiest path.
The easy way out.
Right.
But what Mimetron's story, I think, kind of reminds us
Mhm.
is that sometimes
Yeah.
the most
Rewarding.
rewarding journey, is the one where we, like,
Embrace the challenge.
embrace it, where we get our hands a little, I don't know,
Right. Get a little dirty.
a little dirty, or in this case, maybe a little paint splattered.
Exactly. And think about, what we gain from those experiences.
What do we gain?
By mixing those colors, Minotron wasn't just being, thrifty,
Right.
right? They were unlocking this depth of understanding.
That honestly just wouldn't have been possible with, the pre-mixed paints.
It's true.
They were forced to slow down to consider each pigment,
Hmm.
to really learn, like, the language of color.
Yeah,
And that's, I think, a valuable lesson for all of us,
it really is.
regardless of what we're into,
Right, regardless of our passions.
It's,
It really makes you think,
It does.
what hidden depths
Yeah.
we could uncover, if we stopped looking for those shortcuts
Right.
and really just, leaned into the
Deep
fundamentals.
fundamentals of whatever it is we're, like, pursuing.
The pursuits, exactly.
It's a good thought,
It is a good thought. Yeah.
In a world obsessed with speed and efficiency,
Right.
maybe the greatest advantage
Yeah.
comes from slowing down,
Okay.
from digging deep,
Digging deep.
from rediscovering, the power of truly understanding
Yeah.
the building blocks of whatever it is, like I said,
That we love.
that we're passionate about. Yeah.
I like that.
So, like, next time you're facing a challenge,
Yeah.
instead of immediately, going for that quick fix,
The easy way out.
the easy way out,
Right.
take a page from Mimetron's book.
I love it.
Embrace the constraint.
Yes.
Mix your,
Mix your metaphorical paint.
exactly. Mix your metaphorical paint
Love it.
and just see
See what happens
what hidden talents you might uncover, along the way.
along the way. Exactly.
That's awesome. I'm into it.
Me too.